And then there were 4 as we bring you the semifinals of the Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Bloomington, Indiana, the IU Field Hockey Complex, the #1 seed Maryland, undefeated in Big Ten regular season play against last year's winner, the Northwestern Wildcats. Semifinal Friday on the Big Ten Network. And take a look at the bracket, that's how they got there.
All 4 teams qualified for the semifinals last year, so this is going to be a very exciting path to get to the championships on Sunday. Maryland still a completely unblemished record in conference competition.
What a job Tracy Fuchs has done at Northwestern, and they have some big-time attacking players.
And that's led by Isabel Flens. Well, I should say one of the players on this phenomenal attack had a goal and an assist yesterday. And speaking with their head coach, Tracy Fuchs, beforehand, she wants to see Flens shoot just a little bit more.
And the Maryland Terrapins, led by the engine room in the midfield, perhaps the fittest team in the country.
And I think if you're holding every single team without a win, that it certainly shows how competitive and fit this team is. And Velma Luce does her part on that forward line. 2 goals in yesterday's quarterfinals.
Anytime you look at Maryland, you look at Missy Mahart. They started 2-3, but they've won 15 in a row, and that's our State Farm state of success.
Made a comment earlier this year that winning takes every single second. It's incredible what the Terrapins have been able to do since those early season losses, and this team has bought in.
And she is Kara Lentz. She starred at Michigan. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you here for semifinal Friday on the Big Ten Network. Maryland and Northwestern underway. Maryland in black from head to toe. Northwestern in white, purple, and white. And just a little different feel today on semifinal Friday. A lot of excitement in the air, a little bit chillier. Yesterday the weather was pleasant up until the last game where we had some rain. And Indiana has been wonderful hosts for this year's Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. A little bit cooler today in Bloomington, Indiana, as I just mentioned. Yesterday it got up to about 70 degrees. It's around 55, 57 today. Kara, you called that perfect field hockey weather.
You know, if your arms and hands aren't getting a little bit of a sting after you strike the ball, it's not warm enough.
So a rematch of last year's Big Ten Tournament final as Tracy Fuchs, the head coach at Northwestern. What a job she's done in 7 years. Turned around the program almost in year 1 since arriving in Evanston.
You know, and she had big intentions when she took over the Northwestern program to make it through the tournament, the Big Ten tournament, and to look ahead to that NCAA tournament. She's done just that, and the senior class has been through a range of success and losses through the program, and there is a lot of credit due to that senior class.
Anna DeSoy, really kind of the engineer of the engine room. There's Flens. Yes, Kara, was so much fun talking to Tracy Fuchs about Flens. The fact that there's no shot she doesn't like, but then she was able to say she still wants her to shoot more, so great to have that freedom. Wildcats switch it. Both these teams pretty much a 3-4-3 formation. Maryland coming from behind. They trailed Michigan State yesterday 2-1 at the half, but then Sarah Sprink, the Big Ten most valuable player who's on it right now, scored a goal to tie it, and then Velma Luce scored about 30 seconds later to take the lead, and that was the final score, 3-2. Meanwhile, the Wildcats comfortably over the Buckeyes, 4-0. Missy Maharg, a legendary figure, of course, 29 years, 9-time National Coach of the Year, and 7 national championships under her direction. Coming over for Maryland for the restart, Carrie Hanks, sophomore from New York. There's Tapman. Tapman along the right side. Tenacious defender along the right side. Back to Sprink.
Tapman, just in the span of this season, has grown tremendously as a player, earning a lot of her experience and playing time last season. Brings a wealth of experience and knowledge into her senior campaign and captaining this team.
Laney Leathers drops it over to Hanks, and now Sprink. Sprink, it is in her bloodlines. Her mom was actually the sweeper for Germany in the 1984 Olympics.
It's quite remarkable how Maryland can really spread the field and move the ball just in the 3 players in the backfield, which rotates a little bit. Very high ball speed between the sidelines and really commanded in the back by Carrie Hanks, number 3, and Sarah Sprink. But there's no hesitation with receiving the ball and moving it right away.
It's a great point, Kara. Maryland, they're not just defenders, they're part of the attack moving up the field. You see them go side to side, right to left, and on. They'll do it quickly, though. Maryland, described by many as the fastest show on turf. Anna DeSoy will get a green card, so now Northwestern with a player advantage.
DeSoy did not clear the 5-yard radius that you're supposed to as a defender after the opposing team takes the free hit. Officials since the start of this game have been very much on top of where the foul has occurred and the radius that players must clear in order to place a tackle.
Here's Leathers. Book smart, savvy. This is how Missy Mahard describes number 11. Leathers. Sent forward there by Carrie Hanks. Going down hard, Alyssa Parker. She can run all day. And here's Parker. Around Tronsoliti. Parker. Sends it back into the circle, but they'll give it back to Northwestern.
Rarely do you see Alyssa Parker receive the ball and be stagnant. This is a player that receives it very much on the move and also has great purpose and intention when she carries the ball, usually on angles, and she's so quick to get to the outside of the field.
So we told you last year Northwestern beat Maryland in the Big Ten tournament final. They actually beat them twice last year, which is unheard of. Beating Maryland one time in a season is tough. Doing it twice is even tougher, but Maryland able to respond this year right here on the Big Ten Network back on September 18th. The Maryland Terrapins, it was Anna DeSoy Day with 2 goals and an assist. Beat Northwestern by a score of 3-2.
It was the debut game to knock off the BTN Field Hockey Friday season. Dom Masters was able to actually pull that game within 1 goal with about 9 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, and Maryland held on strong. They had a lead in the second half. They really played strong against a very much attacking Northwestern team.
A little bit of a turnover in the back. Rare mistake by Sprink. And Flens will make you pay. Maryland, a little bit lucky early doors here. Back to Sprink. Big Ten most valuable player from Germany.
So deliberate with her passing and distribution, and certainly a player that when she receives a ball, as an opponent, if you're on that press or in that midfield, you really have to be aware of what it lays behind you and who lays behind you.
Great work there by Lane Holzboer, whose parents are actually here from the Netherlands and in the crowd at the IU Field Hockey Complex.
Family affair, sister and brother as well, and understand that the family and family friends are watching the broadcast back in Holland. It's a little bit later, just about after 7 o'clock.
Velma loose. Inside the circle. Kick save coming. There's Lane Holzboer, number 22 from the Netherlands, a sophomore, as we say hello to their family. I understand it's just after 7 o'clock.
Prime time. Prime time field hockey.
Prime time Big Ten Network style over in Holland. We've got a good one here. Maryland and Northwestern. The Wildcats with 4 fouls already. Maryland with 3. Sprink will push it right to Tapman. Tapman down near the end line, trying to get it inside the circle. Good defensive work outside of the circle, and that was important to Tracy Fuchs and Northwestern. Missy Maharg also saying she wants to keep Northwestern away from penalty corner opportunities because of those great attacking players.
Good patience shown by Linnea Gonzalez, the Big Ten Freshman Player of the Year, not forcing the situation or trying to get a shot off or even cough the ball up inside the circle, but showed great composure when she had 3 Northwestern defenders collapsing on her inside the circle. And you'll notice Northwestern is very attentive and ready to apply that defensive pressure once Maryland is entering their offensive circle.
So penalty corner for Maryland. Anna DeSoy pretty much handles the insert every time for the Terps. Sprink is often the target for the shot. This time it was Hanks. Sprink will try to run it down. Good little touch. Deceptive speed for Sprink.
Great job by Caroline Tronsoliti on the fly, getting out to the top of the circle as quickly as possible. On this next corner defensive set for Northwestern, recognize how quick number 1 in white can get to the top of the circle. See Tronsoliti gets all the way out there, breaks down her legs, and overall in the quarterfinal games on Thursday, I was very impressed with the corner defensive units of many teams. I think there are phenomenal goalkeepers and flyers in this league. And not to mention Kate Barber from Indiana, probably one of the best trail players that you're gonna see.
Lindsay Vanderloof in goal for Northwestern. DeSoy with the insert. This time Sprink is gonna take it. It's low. It looked like with the left foot, Vanderloof was there. Sprink will get it started quickly, trying to get it to DeSoy through 3 white jerseys. Whistle. And now DeSoy will start it. Shot from distance. Kick save just to make sure. It falls in front. It's loose. Courtney Dina has come on for Maryland.
Good job by Maryland with keeping the ball inside their offensive 23-meter. Look how active Sarah Sprink is, changing her point of attack.
Velma Luce keeps it alive. Vanderloof was way off her line, but the whistle now will come back to Northwestern.
Vanderloof is going to see a fair amount of action today facing a Maryland offense that is so productive in shots on goals, and corners.
Pascal Massey for Northwestern inside the circle. Gotta love the sort of ponytails there for Massey. Good look.
Kind of reminds me of Jen Adams a little bit. Speaking of Maryland.
DeSoy, so quick. Earning yet another foul. A lot of whistles here early on. Over the ball for Maryland is once again Alyssa Parker. They'll give it right back to Northwestern. It's the Big Ten semifinals of the Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Bloomington, Indiana, the IU Field Hockey Field. Big weekend in Bloomington, a football weekend. The IU soccer team will be playing next door on Sunday. Big Ten men's soccer tournament. Sprink, go back to Tapman. High pressure coming from Masters. DeSoy.
Northwestern's attack and forward line has been applying a lot of pressure when Maryland is deep in their defense, but Maryland is so comfortable when they're in that position. They rarely turn the ball over when they're in their deep defense. They're in great positioning before they receive the ball.
Here's Flens. Trying to get it in the circle. Sprink had it taken away by Flens earlier, but Flens not able to shoot. Same thing happened again. Pakpentinga also into the game. She was not eligible to play yesterday. She is ready to roll today. Tracy Fuchs saying it's a big addition. Tenga, a freshman also from the Netherlands. Hanks looking for Dina. Leather starts it quickly. Holzbohr then pushes it right. Now on it is Velma Luce. That first goal for Maryland against Michigan State. Anna DeSoy was about right here and just fired it. It went off the cage. And then Velma Luce, who's on it now, was in the right place at the right time to put it in the back of the cage and give Maryland an early 1-0 lead. But boy, give Helen Knoll and Michigan State all kinds of credit. Tough season. They lost so much from the year before. They fought back and took a 2-1 lead, but Maryland responded. Let's see what we have here. Just looking to send it in. So he had Brooke Adler sitting in front of Vanderloft. Velma Luce, the two-sport star.
Quite a way for Michigan State to go out yesterday. Probably the best game that they've played all season. Maryland adjusted things quickly. Start the second half, came out really strong, and outscored Michigan State 20-3 just in the second half. And they're going to get the best game of every single Big Ten opponent and everyone in the nation when they face.
You mentioned the nation. Now's the time to start looking at who the 19 teams are that are going to make the NCAA tournament. And talking to Tracy Fuchs, she believes win or lose, Maryland is in. Northwestern feeling like they've got to win it all. Speculation is that your Wolverines need to at least make the semifinals. That sound about right, Kara?
Yeah, that's appropriate. I mean, it's going to be a very competitive year. If you look across the nation, a lot of strength that exists in the ACC, and of course, on the two-time defending champion looks to be a favorite to make their way through.
DeSoy with the insert. Third penalty corner for Maryland. Sprink awaiting, she fires. Boy, once again, Tronsoliti, as Kara Lentz pointed out earlier, was right there, and that one may have hurt.
Tronsoliti's tough. I mean, this is a player that has a pretty deep background in ice hockey. One of the reasons why she has such quick hands on that forward line. Major credit with just getting out quickly to the top of the circle and again, applying that first line of defense.
What a pass from DeSoy, trying to get through. Velma Luce, one at a corner, doesn't get it, they play on. Let's see how Northwestern can do, getting out of Maryland's pressure. It's Pakpentinga, number 19, extremely fast. Here's Dom Masters. She had a big-time game yesterday with a goal and an assist. Flens as well. Maryland with 5 shots. The Wildcats do not have a shot yet. They could change that right here, just outside the circle. Tried to get in, but that kind of play right there is why Sprink was named the best in the Big Ten this year.
Good job in reading that pass and understanding the 2v1 situation. The fact that that option pass to the attacker on the outside is probably going to be the one taken. If you need to pull off something like that against Sprink, you have to be a lot more deceptive in your passing.
The Terps, quick pass to Linnea Gonzalez coming from Floor Paniker. Paniker, who wasn't eligible right away when the season started, about midway through. She was, and she's been another great addition as Maryland, without question, the deepest team in the Big Ten. I think Northwestern might have the most experience as far as senior leadership. Here's Masters. Tapman coming over in support. Go out of bounds, though, back to Northwestern. Tapman can gobble up real estate right away as she closed on Masters. Masters. Sprink just lets it roll out of bounds. Pretty good pace here to start on semifinal Friday. Maryland 3 corners and 5 shots so far has looked fantastic, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. Maryland and Northwestern, semifinal 1, 0-0. 2015 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament, midway through the first half. Top seed Maryland and number 4 seed Northwestern tied at 0. Hello everybody, I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with the pride of Michigan, Kara Lentz. And Kara, this one's shaping up to be a big time tournament.
Yeah, absolutely so. And Northwestern's doing a great job on the corner defense, setting up against Maryland, but Maryland doing a really good job possessing the ball, maintaining the ball in possession inside their offensive 25.
Maryland started the season 2-3. They've won 15 in a row.
Incredible. I mean, how they've changed their season around is a huge compliment to how they've owned this season and how they fixed every single little thing, have started to play the full games. And one thing that really works for how Maryland goes is the different amount of contributors and numerous players that really can add to this team, add to the attack. Solid group.
Well said. You saw a couple of them right there. Anna Desoy, Lane Holzbohr. Explosive up top. Linnea Gonzalez trying to get going as well. Northwestern beat Ohio State 4-0 yesterday, and they gave up 4 shots to the Buckeyes. Maryland has 5 already. Out of bounds. Kelly Stump now in for the Wildcats. Another senior for Tracy Fuchs. What a class this one has been. Think about Tronsoliti and Kelsey Gradwall, Lisa McCarthy, all Big Ten player. Some quality juniors as well. Flynn's one of those. Lane Holzbohr, what a move to Gonzalez. Stump gets a piece of it though. Northwestern now going the other way. Puck Pentenga had it for a second. And look at Maryland, they'll win it back and then they're fast. Here come the Terps down the right side, trying to push it forward. If you like fast field hockey, then you like to watch the Maryland Terrapins. Missy Mahart will run a lot of players in as part of that engine room that she talks about.
Having attended one of Maryland's preseason practices last season, their first year in the Big Ten, it was really incredible to see the work effort and the work ethic of players on the team. And Missy Maharg is a very active coach, whether it be during the game, but also during a practice. She is walking around, she is interacting with players. She is the most encouraging coach that I've seen at a practice, and a lot of deliberate skills and drills. And for that set piece of time that you're involved with that drill, you really work hard. You get a little bit of a rest, but you work hard while you're in there.
Yesterday, as part of 4 games broadcast on the Big Ten Network, I asked former All-Big Ten star Kara Lentz the 3 keys to winning the Big Ten tournament. Kara, remind everybody about those because we just had a TV timeout.
Goalkeeping is certainly one. I think coaching is another, and also how timeouts are utilized, and when you call for a timeout in the video referral, the stoppage of time, I think that's big.
Western looks pretty strong coming out of that TV timeout. Coaching in the Big Ten is phenomenal. Tracy Fuchs, of course, winning the Big Ten title, the first ever for the Northwestern Wildcats. And then Missy Maharg, legendary. Think about even here at Indiana, the job that Amanda Lanny has done here. There's Tracy Fuchs.
Kelly, right! Lisa Marquez!
Lane Holzbohr to Linnea Gonzalez. Sticks get tangled. Emma Rissinger, number 7, the redshirt junior. Probably haven't said enough good things about her. 5 goals and 11 assists for Rissinger.
Had some stellar games last season as well, especially during the regular Big Ten season.
DeSoy, just enough of a touch to get it to Sprink. Cleanly forward to Parker. Here's Gonzalez. Gonzalez has Rissinger in front. Northwestern able to stop it. One back by Leathers.
Delaney Leathers has been very smart about when she's deciding to step up and intercept at that left back position. Stick is very low to the ground. She's extremely disciplined with her body position, and she's come up every single time with the ball.
DeSoy to Paniker. Parker waiting inside the circle. Paniker on the turn. She is in right in front. Trying to get to it is Rissinger.
That's where Rissinger likes to be. Directly off the far post, just a little bit on a 45-degree angle from the goalkeeper. Seen her knocking a few goals from that exact position.
Lane Hosbor on the intercept, a drop. Good idea as DeSoy was tracking in. Paniker sends it back in the circle. Northwestern again there, McCarthy with the clear. Maryland gets it right back. Casey Tapman making a run from that right back position. Lene Gonzalez, there's McCarthy. McCarthy has it for a second. She'll lose it to Tapman and get it right back.
Lisa McCarthy is such a solid defender. Just last year in the Big Ten tournament final, she did her part too on the offensive corners, coming away with 2 assists and a goal. And I love to see defenders are back, such as Tapman inside the circle. If you have the green light to go with the attack, you go.
Look at Gonzalez go. Fantastic move, try to stay with it. She'll earn the whistle as Gonzalez splitting the ball, getting by Charlotte Martin. Will come right back to Northwestern. You mentioned McCarthy scoring in that game. Flens and Masters also scoring. Keep in mind, Northwestern is the only Big Ten team to have defeated Maryland since they joined the conference last season. They did it twice last year. Northwestern actually holds a 4-3 series advantage in matches played at a neutral site against the Terps. So throw all that into the mixer and they're not scared.
And that was a great feed coming from McCarthy all the way up to Masters on that free hit coming out of the backfield. But Maryland's defense has the ability to step up at the right time, and when they're coming up with interceptions, they're doing smart things with the ball. Just recognize how composed they are in the backfield, how they open up their hips, their bodies, their shoulders, and their field of vision is very, very precise. Before they even get the ball, they're evaluating one.
Sprink, right side to Paniker. Keeps it down. Faye Kern is now in. Velma Luce is trying to get it to Faye Kern. Look at Velma Luce. Keep possession, those quick hands, the star tennis player. Kick saved by Vanderluft. Paniker trying to keep it alive. And a penalty corner for Maryland.
Take another look at that ball that Lisa McCarthy fed from the backfield all the way up to Masters. That's from 25-yard line to 25-yard line. That's a big gain, a big pickup. And also recognize how Maryland's defense is really limiting from Northwestern from even getting inside the circle. They were able to push Dom Masters away and out, forcing her back into the midfield.
Fourth penalty corner for Maryland. DeSoy again on the insert. Sprink, saved by Vanderluft, just getting low, kicking the leg up high to stop it.
Coming into this tournament, 30 of Maryland's 64 goals they have scored off of corners.
Paniker with the shot. She slipped just as she was taking the shot.
Checking back into the game is Isabel Flens for the Wildcats.
Isabel Flens now back in for Northwestern. Masters way up high, working in the circle. Seven shots now for the Terps, 3 of them on goal. Sarah Holliday has not really been tested yet. Thought maybe she was going to be tested when Sprink and Flens got tangled up in the circle, but Sprink was able to recover. Maryland started the season with Jill Genovese and Sarah Holliday kind of sharing time, but Holliday has stepped up big as part of this 15-game run, and there's Holliday near post. I'm not sure if that hit the cage or not.
Great show of athleticism coming from Holliday, making her first career start against American, and shortly thereafter getting her first career shutout against Princeton. We'll have you know that since Holliday has earned that starting position in net, Maryland has been undefeated.
Entering the game after the corner for Maryland will be number 22.
And an extremely stingy defense as well. 5 straight shutouts coming into this tournament.
McCarthy. Stick stoppers usually number 24, Sophia Miller. Charlotte Martin will also stop it, and she does. Masters can crank with the best of them. And another save by Holliday. Holsboer from the Netherlands. Checks back, slips. Field very wet. You can see the water splashing. They really loaded up before the game starts. Here's Sprink. Under 6 minutes remaining, still no score. Semi-final Friday on the Big Ten Network. It's Penn State and Michigan at 4 o'clock on BTN to go. Masters.
Into the game for Maryland, number 5.
Masters, who cranked that penalty corner moments ago. Here's DeSoy.
Masters really has nobody around her or numbers around the attack. Look at the amount of defenders that are inside the circle from Maryland. Very well coached. They're in good field positioning. They're in good position together as a unit on the defense. Carrie Hanks applying that double team pressure and presence, number 3.
Another good save. Official saying to get up. We'll stay with Northwestern. Kelly Stump. Looking for Miller to go out of bounds back to Maryland, but expect.
Talked about Velma Luce on the offense. One way that she really adds to this team is on the defense. At that post position, a couple times this season, she has come up with some incredible defensive saves. Coming into this tournament, she had 2 defensive saves, but there's no one that's more crucial or apparent than the one against Michigan that ensured that victory for the Terrapins. Huge compliments to a player that has such quick hands and a quick stick to put her at that post player positions. I mean, she's faced serves, you know, for most of her collegiate career coming at extremely fast speeds. It's probably very similar to stopping a field hockey ball.
Great point. Sherry Jones is now checked in for Maryland. Velma Luce had 2 goals in that win over Michigan, but as Carolette said, it was that defensive save that I think you were most fired up about. Soy. Looking for Lane Holsboer. Under 4 minutes remaining here in the first.
Sarah Sprink keeps looking for that ball into the circle and is changing up her entry points and her entry passes around the 25. If Maryland's forwards want to connect on one of these, going to have to start to see some bigger efforts coming from the forwards and midfielders inside the circle, because Sprink is really given a lot of great passes.
Parker sends it in. Holsboer trying to clean it up along with Velma Luce. Velma Luce thought it was inside the circle. It'll stay with Maryland.
So asking for a video referral. This is a team video referral. Velma Luce is asking that this call be looked at. So the ruling on the field was that it was a free hit just outside the circle. What the Maryland team, I believe, is asking to be evaluated as to whether that foul actually occurred inside the circle, which would result in a penalty corner. And as we've seen all season, here's a quick reminder of the video referral process this year. Any student athlete on the field is allowed to request a video referral. Umpires can use a video referral to check the legality of a goal. And as I've seen with Maryland throughout last year's tournament and this year's tournament throughout the season, they do a very good job of when to utilize a video referral. So you see Velma Luce right there pointing to just the edge of the circle, saying that the foul that they called, I believe it may have been a foot on a Northwestern offender, actually happened just inside that solid line, which would give Maryland their 5th corner of the game.
After every video referral, the officials then ask both coaches to come over. Missy Mahard for Maryland on the right. Tracy Fuchs just peeked into our screen right there. Looks like Maryland's pretty happy with the result of that video referral.
Great use.
Penalty corner coming after the referral. Not a free hit. Well done by Velma Luce.
And Maryland will also keep their video referral. And that could become very crucial and critical as you look into the final 35 minutes of regulation.
Maryland scores off this video referral. You can thank technology. Here's DeSoy. Sprink and Hanks are waiting after the stick stop. Insert from DeSoy. Sprink will leave it back to Hanks, who really could not get a whole lot on that, but they'll have another opportunity anyway.
Going to see a lot of different looks from Maryland on these offensive corners. Very familiar now with how Northwestern comes out on their corner defense. And Vonderluft in net.
Penalty corner taken by number 17, at the Solar.
It was Hanks last time. You wonder if Sprink will get a shot this time. She does. It's Tronsolini. Fearless as the flyer.
I think that's a great term on Tronsolini. This is a great view at just how quickly she closes down space. And as I mentioned before, this is a player who has incredible ice hockey experience with her. So getting nailed in the body is probably nothing too unfamiliar.
It was Hanks, then Sprink. It's Sprink again, but it's Tronsolini one more time. And look at Tronsolini, she gets her stick over. Shot comes in, and it'll come back to Northwestern. And after the video referral, Northwestern able to survive 3 straight penalty corners. That's huge.
Northwestern's corner defense just holding up great. Wow, I mean, especially against an offense like Maryland, which really likes to go through their corners, and almost half of the goals they've scored this season have been off of those corners.
Flens, and Maryland's done an amazing job with Flens. She has not had a whole lot of space to get crafty with it.
Northwestern has barely been able to break through that defense. Really holding strong and commanding the way that they generate their attack, starting in the backfield.
Velma Luce, 2 goals yesterday. DeSoy fighting for it. Holzbohr's there, DeSoy goes down. Loses her stick for a moment. 20 seconds remaining here in the first. No score, Maryland and Northwestern. Holzbohr to DeSoy. It's a tough ball for DeSoy. Set back in. Counts you down the final 5 seconds.
5 seconds, Lisa.
Knew it was going to be tight. Neither team able to put one in the cage. 0-0 at the half.
Extremely fast game that we've seen so far in the first 35 minutes. Maryland has had plenty of opportunities on the offense, especially on those corners. They've been controlling the pace of this game, and they've been controlling possession of this game, and having limited Northwestern to just 1 corner in this half, which, by the way, leads the conference in the amount of corners per game, speaks to the defensive presence that Maryland has brought today.
Fantastic first 35, as you see Tracy Fuchs right there, wiping off the board there with some plans. We're joined now by Missy Maharg, the head coach of Maryland. Missy, you knew it was going to be a tight one. No score at the half. Your thoughts on the first 35?
Really good hockey. Field's playing really well. Both teams are very aggressive. I think Maryland's had some great opportunities, certainly 5 or 6 penalty corners, and the opportunity to win a referral and get one. We just have to put it home, stay very focused on using the outsides of the field, and get really good quick organization on actually our defense of our attack penalty corners has been a little bit dangerous, but I'm pleased with the energy and looking forward to a good second half.
What's your assessment on the defensive play?
Well, in general, I think that our cover's been really good. I think our one-on-one defense and 2v2 in the corners against some of their strong overlapping midfielders has been very strong tactically. I think, again, on the defensive side of Northwestern, Maryland needs to pull the ball more to the right so we stay away. They've got very good face-stick block tackles, so we'll try to continue to pull right and drag right and get more advantage on the backhand side of the defense.
Missy, thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it, thanks.
Missy Maharg, the head coach of Maryland. Maryland has outshot Northwestern 11-3, but neither team able to score. We'll be back with more here from halftime in Bloomington. Get ready to start the second half of the Big Ten semifinal field hockey, Maryland and Northwestern. Northwestern has faced 7 penalty corners. We asked Northwestern head coach Tracy Fuchs about their corner defense.
Yeah, you know, Carol's able to get out there, and she's one of the quickest players in the Big Ten. I'm not so happy we've given up 7 corners, but we've been defending well, and we just need to possess the ball when we get it. We're a little bit frantic, and we need to make sure we take care of the ball in the second half.
How do you generate some more offense, Tracy?
Yeah, you know, I think the possession starting, you know, we just need to take care of the ball, and you know, they've dominated the right side. In the second half, we've got to get it to our playmakers over at the right and just take care of the ball when we get it. We're just throwing it away, and we don't need to. We're a good possession hockey team, and we're going to try to show that in the second half.
Thank Tracy Fuchs for spending some time with us before we start the second half. Dean Linke delighted to be with Carol Lentz. 4 yesterday, 2 today, and then Championship Sunday here on the Big Ten Network. And your thoughts on what Coach Fuchs had to say?
I think possession is big for Northwestern, absolutely right. And I have seen Northwestern play throughout some parts of this season as a good possessive team, but the one thing that is really keeping them inside of this is the corner defensive play. Having faced 7 Maryland corners is quite the feat, and Caroline Tronsoliti is holding up nicely, getting out from the baseline all the way to the top of the circle so quickly and stopping the likes of hits coming from Sprink Hanks. I mean, that is facing a lot of ammunition, and big shield put up by Tronsoliti.
11 shots for Maryland. The penalty corners are key, but the fearless Tronsoliti charging right forward to handle Sprink and Hanks, and there she is, Tronsoliti, and of course Tracy Fuchs also mentioning the great work of #1 for Northwestern. Second half underway here on the Big Ten Network. Dean Linke with Carol Lentz. The sun shining through now here in Bloomington. DeSoy. I think DeSoy ever comes out of the game. If she does, it's not for very long, or maybe it's because she got a card like earlier in the first half. Holzbohr's been good. She'll drop it to DeSoy. DeSoy to Gonzalez. Linnea Gonzalez, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
Fantastic speed by Holzborg, getting up the left-hand side of the field, and she's very much aware instinctively to know where Anna Desoy is. It's the second time now where she's laid off a pass to Desoy. And you mentioned Desoy not coming out of the game. This player really is all over the field. Very active on the defense, very active on the attack. So instrumental.
Goes long. Got to really give Northwestern credit, though, because Maryland's been very good on penalty corners. 30 of their 67 goals this year have come off corners this season. They've allowed just 8 off corners, Maryland. But not able to score on all 7 coming into this one. McCarthy sends it forward.
Sharp Martin, number 12 in the center of the midfield, was one reason why Northwestern was able to have the success that they did last year. This player does a lot of work off the ball, extremely physical in that center midfield position.
Shar Martin, the general, a vacuum cleaner, according to head coach Tracy Fuchs. It was Martin who sent that one in a moment ago. Paniker had some special moments in the first half. Van der Luft, shot by Velma Luce, deflected around. Gonzalez is there, but a whistle first.
Flurry of action, and Kelly Stump got hit in the face or the head on the deflection coming off of Van der Luft, and you see Velma Luce taking a big swing there. Almost a little dangerous type of swing, and Kelly Stump directly there to take the brunt of the deflection.
That forehand from Luce is dangerous.
Well, also the fact that this player is taking a swing on a ball when it's a very unpredictable, that makes it extremely hard as a defender and as a goalkeeper to stop, because that ball's coming perhaps at a height that you don't know. You can't exactly set up with a lot of time if a player is taking a one-time hit. And the turf provides a different element with that as well.
Destoy, Leathers with the stick stop. Sprink, Leathers pushes it over to Gonzalez as they continue to change up game plan on their penalty corners. They're going to need to. They've had 8, but the score is still 0-0. Hanks taking it from Sprink. Top of the circle, one back by Northwestern. It's McCarthy again, number 8.
Tronsoliti is carrying the success she had on the corner defense into this half, and as a flyer, what's really difficult to do is break down your steps and then actually be able to slide if there is a pass. That's what Tronsoliti does. Sometimes that might be the trail's decision in place to come up and add that defensive pressure, but Tronsoliti is so quick on her feet that she can do that. And I think if you're Maryland, the way that you kind of scout or get around that corner defense of Northwestern is to provide 1 or 2 passes, a couple playmakers at the top of the circle in order to beat Tronsoliti.
The senior from Jeffersonville, Pennsylvania, and Kara, you're so on it. The slide, I was juked. I was faked out, yet Tronsoliti was all over it.
Yeah, you know, that's some of the weight room work paid off, too.
Desoy. Maryland coming into the Big Ten last year. And through 2 seasons, they've only lost twice. Northwestern victorious twice last year against Maryland. Of course, Maryland undefeated in Big Ten play this year. Michigan Wolverines, who will face Penn State the second game, only 1 loss, a controversial one against Maryland. Here's Tronsoliti, she's doing it all. Tronsoliti over to Flens.
Pure foot speed. Tronsoliti beating players on the outside of the field. An absolutely tireless worker.
Isabel Flens is a little frustrated. She's really not been able to get it in the circle and dial one up. Turn either way. Here's Martin again. DeSoy.
Again, Northwestern not really having numbers around the ball and trying to get through this Maryland defense that is packed so well and so nicely together. Strong communication coming from the defenders of Maryland as well, but the only way that Northwestern has been able to break through is by the foot speed and the performance of Caroline Tronsolini on this particular carry. Gets around every single player on the outside and has enough body control to cut the corner, come along the baseline. And Michigan State had great success in the quarterfinals against Maryland by countering with speed. Maryland is just such a diligent team defensively. They're not going to allow anything just to come through.
Gradwall pushes it up deep from her left back position as Northwestern in the corner. Eva Van Acht. Also from the Netherlands. Sprink. Over to Hanks. Now Leathers. Whistle back to Northwestern. Flens to Martin. She's the general of that midfield. And Phillips back into the game. I thought Phillips was fantastic yesterday for the Wildcats in that 4-0 win over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Eva Van Acht. Fighting for forward is Pascal Massey. Massey. DeSoy picks her pocket. Now DeSoy on the tack.
Massey just doing a little too much with the ball. And one of the great things about Maryland's defense is when they put on that first line of pressure, that first player, and you start to see the attack kind of backing off or backing away from the circle. Maryland stays with that. They continue to push you out and push you out and push you out until you finally cough the ball up or they get a free hit. It's very dynamic.
Courtney Dina, a junior from Pickerington, Ohio, has been inserted into the game for Gonzalez. As even a deeper rotation for this game for Maryland is, keep in mind, if you win the entire tournament, you play 3 games in 4 days. So Missy Mahard and her coaching staff has that one planned out.
Great block tackle from Tapman. Just stays low to the ground, gets her knuckles all the way down to the turf and doesn't let up, doesn't bring her stick up at all, just very disciplined on the defensive stand.
Pulls board to Paniker. Dina can't get to it. It'll roll out of bounds.
Tapman brings in an incredible amount of experience just coming from her freshman year, a redshirt senior that earned her starting position last year. She was part of the 2001 NCAA championship team. A player that on this team no one else has been able to experience, and I would assume with it being her redshirt senior year that she wants to get a taste of that natty championship again.
Flens in the circle, what a pass! So unselfish, just dropping it into space, but not able to get there in time. Running onto it was Puck Pentenga. Didn't play yesterday, but back on the field today for Northwestern.
Where Flens is perhaps the most exciting is when she is able to come up with the ball on her press, how she approaches on that defense, on that first line. And if she can come up with it, she's so quick to be able to get inside the circle. I think a fun 1v1 to mark or watch during this game is Flens versus Carrie Hanks in the backfield, and as well as Sarah Sprink.
What a great turn up the field by Holzbohr. Stood up by Northwestern. There's Martin, the vacuum cleaner, trying to stop it. Quickly again for Holzbohr. On the right side. Calling for it is Parker. She'll go back across. Dina's there. Quick stop and pop, but saved by Vanderluft. Dina was open.
Northwestern head coach Tracy Fuchs said yesterday before the game that Lindsey Vanderluft will have to be big throughout this tournament. She will be key.
Here comes Northwestern Masters with a good pass in. Pintenga's there. And water splashing the shot. She slipped just a little bit before she went to dial that one up.
Speed is really effective for Northwestern in breaking inside that circle. Great diving effort. Kind of just misses the ball a little bit. Sarah Holiday ready there to defend.
That was Puck Pintenga, who may start to replace Pina Johnson for the best name in the Big Ten now that Pina Johnson is moving on. Puck Pintenga from the Netherlands.
I think Shea Cannon might be up there too.
That's solid. Lane Holzbohr. Game starting to open up here a little bit. There are 23 minutes remaining in regulation. The Wildcats once again trying to find, this time Lauren Bernardi. It's Bernardi and Pintenga both into the game. So is Pascal Massey.
Sophie Miller did a fabulous job with carrying the ball just along the sideline. Doing an effective job of getting little lifts under the ball, adding that 3D dimension.
Tatman's got Velma Luce in front of her. She'll push it to her. Velma Luce will stop it. Looking for Desoy first. She saw Flens tracking back on Desoy. Good defense from the attackers for Northwestern. Now they'll go all the way back to Sprink and then Hanks. Hanks has Leathers on the left side. She'll go to Leathers. Closing quickly's Masters. Trying to find Curran. It'll go too long.
Maryland was able to get inside the circle just a few minutes ago. Lane Holzbohr does a good job with pulling right, getting around Phillips, and as soon as she's at the top of the circle, she's looking to the exact opposite side. And Vanderluft coming up with a good save.
Great vision from Holzbohr to find Dina inside the circle. Now Dina will go back to the bench, coming in for Maryland's Brooke Adler. Wildcats, a lot more possession here in the second. Sarah Holiday didn't see much of the ball, the goalkeeper for Maryland in the first, but in the second, she's on her toes just a bit. Go under Adler's stick and long.
Take it off. Good, B. Good catch.
14-5 shots now. Western, more of the attack here in the second half, but Maryland still leads in shots 14-5. Long run from the Wildcats. In the circle, turned by Masters. Deflected deflected by Holiday.
She has such a lethal shot. Rarely is she able to get it off during live action or inside the circle, or Masters is most effective is around the circle on the corners for the Wildcats. And this is also a player that has done a lot of great things stepping away from field hockey, including this past summer when she spent some time in Vietnam and coached for college. She spent 3 weeks working with 7th and 8th graders in rural parts of Vietnam, coaching soccer and teaching biology. She has a wonderful recount on nusports.com that goes into a lot of detail about her experience, and she even talks about playing soccer with some of the kids and how some cows would even start to wander onto the pasture and create quite a distraction.
Let's go.
Goal and assist against Ohio State.
Nothing in. Yep.
Insert for Northwestern. Masters, and Masters has Northwestern on top, 1-0.
So this will be an umpire referral, checking the legality of this goal, which is a great call coming from the umpire. So it was an initial hit coming from Dom Masters at the top of the circle, and the ball was deflected. I don't know if it was deflected by a Maryland defender's stick, body, or possibly a Northwestern deflection, but the umpires are taking it upon themselves to go through the video on this. The umpire referral is only used to check the legality of a goal inside the 23-meter. Little tough to see because of some of the action directly in front of Holiday. You see there, the ball was lifted from what it seemed like off of the pad or the foot of Holiday.
Tronsoliti was right.
Tronsoliti was right there, but she immediately went up to Masters and started celebrating. So I don't think Tronsolini actually touched the ball. The umpires and the officials are calling both coaches in right now to the center of the field to discuss what they've reviewed and their final call. So just based on reaction,
The goal will stand.
the goal will stand.
The Wildcats, the only team to beat Maryland since they arrived in the Big Ten a year ago. They did it twice last year, including in the Big Ten tournament final, 3-1. And after surviving a barrage of shots and penalty corners in the first, they lead it now 1-0 after that video referral. And Masters getting credit with the goal.
Severe improvement for Northwestern from earlier this season, during which they outshot and outcornered so many of their opponents. And in the losses that Northwestern had, 4 of those in the Big Ten, they were outcornering their opponents 61-36. Had a big focus leading up to this tournament to finish on the corners and the opportunities and close out on what they had available during the game. I think that's a huge compliment to the team to be able to convert on a corner.
Upset alert on the Big Ten Network as the Northwestern Wildcats on top of the top-seeded and undefeated in the regular season Maryland Terrapins. And here's Masters now with 2 goals and an assist in a little over a game and a half of the 2015 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Dominique Masters able to break through against the talented Maryland team, and we'll go to break with the Wildcats on top of the Terps. Upset alert on BTN. Dean Linke along with Kara Lentz with Northwestern on top 1-0. Let's go back to the vault last year.
Phenomenal performance coming from Northwestern's defensive corner unit. Actually today in this game, Caroline Tronsolini coming out big on the fly position. So it's the defensive corners that have remained stable for Northwestern, but last year it was their corner offense that wasn't able to give them their first Big Ten tournament victory. And a lot of those players that you see defending Maryland today were the same players that capped off their season last year with their first tournament title in history, beating Maryland in the final 3-1.
Leathers. Gonzalez drops it to Sprink, as Sprink will be pushed up in the attack. Holzborg, great stick work to try to win it back. Then she'll get the whistle. Holzborg quickly dropped over. And Kara, now Sprink moved up by Missy Mahard right in front of those three attackers. Rissinger. Rissinger trying to close down McCarthy. Siska Berry now in. Francesca Berry, the senior from England. Missy Maharg. 7 national championships at Maryland.
Gathered her 500th win earlier this season and had a large outpouring from other administrators, other coaches at the University of Maryland. It made it extra special for her, and the video that was posted on the website was about 9 minutes long.
Here's Masters with the shot. Save again, still loose. Holiday in the middle of it. And that play was started by Flens. Big turnover, and then Flens started the attack, and Masters almost made it 2-0.
Northwestern's attack is very, very focused on that goal cage, and I had mentioned earlier how effective Flens is when she comes up with the ball on the forward line and what she generates thereafter. She's the reason that Northwestern was able to get inside the circle anyway. And Dean, you had mentioned how Sarah Sprink has pulled up higher in the midfield, and that's leaving a little bit of a gap in the defense. Anna DeSoy has actually moved back to provide some more defensive play, especially around the circle.
Remember that save right there, though, from Holiday, stopping Masters from what would have been her 3rd goal in the tournament. Holiday with 3 saves for Maryland. Vonderluft has 6. DeSoy doing the defensive work. We'll drop it to Sprink. Sprink's got Velma loose. What a pass to Luce. Good stop. Luce is in. Luce stays with it. A little bit of continuation there, but now a penalty corner for Maryland.
Great decision by the official to allow a play-on situation. So if a player has an advantage already after the foul, there's no need to call a foul if they have an advantage. So it's a great job. Velma Luce takes the ball into space quite nicely, hits the foot of Lisa McCarthy. McCarthy stays in the play, but after she makes that stop with her stick, ruled a corner. Sarah Sprink, I think one reason that head coach Missy Maharg has moved her into the position that she is higher in the midfield is so that she can pass to her forwards and attackers on that line.
9th corner for Maryland. That means Tronsoliti time for Northwestern. She flies out. And they went away from Tronsoliti, trying to find Velma Luce. So they're gonna have to dance around number 1, and that's exactly what they did right there.
We've seen Maryland have great success on that exact corner. Velma Luce has a great ability to deflect the ball. One of the goals that she had in the game against Michigan on BTN earlier this season was designed exactly the same.
Flens again down the right side. It's in front again. Pentenga had it for a moment, and Northwestern will earn a penalty corner Their third, and confidence flying high for the Wildcats. Lisa McCarthy on the insert for Northwestern. The clock continues to run with Northwestern on top, 1-0. The insert, Flens is waiting, Flens. It's popped up and over the cage. Western comes in with 4 losses this year, the first time since 2011. They've lost 4 times. The adjustments that Tracy Fuchs has made here in the second half paying off for the Wildcats. Tronsolini on the spin. He has done so much.
When Tracy Fuchs had mentioned this team being a good possession team, where it's going to become very critical is as you wind down that clock, just about 11 minutes left to go in regulation. And you need to have players on the field that can manage that clock well and possess the ball, which is a very difficult thing to do against a Maryland team.
Holzbohr spins away from trouble, drops it to DeSoy as DeSoy and Sprink have basically changed positions. Parker pushes it wide to Leathers. And that wasn't Leathers, rather, that was Floor Paniker, number 24.
Paniker's been having some great opportunities with getting inside that circle and choosing her entrance and entryway inside that circle. Very effective. When she moves and goes and directs herself towards that circle, she's very deliberate, and she's been able to get through Northwestern's defense with success.
Not the first time that the #1 seed Maryland has been behind. They trailed Michigan State, the #8 seed, 2-1 at halftime yesterday. Sprink has it for a moment, taken away by Sophia Miller. Miller will spin back looking for a white jersey. Over to Flens again. Flens has Puck Pentenga waiting. Also Masters in the circle. Masters, what a move. Masters is in, back across. Lurking on the far post, wide open, was Bernardi.
And we saw Bernardi in the quarterfinals against Ohio State, how effective she can be just hanging off outside that post. Dom Masters leads this conference in shots coming into today's game with 114 total. 16 goals on the season. Has a great ability to not only find the net, but find her teammates as well.
Simply put, Masters has been masterful for the Northwestern Wildcats. As Luce over to Holzbohr. Holzbohr dancing with it. She's in, back across. Velma Luce is there, staying with it. Luce still there, and Luce has tied it at 1.
There's one statement that should be definitely underlined, italicized, and bolded right now, is that history does repeat itself, and as Anna DeSoy has done this season in the Big Ten, is score goals. Excuse me, Velma Luce, and 15 goals coming into this game, an absolute BTN standout play, had 2 goals in the quarterfinals, and add another one during her tournament play this year.
16 goals on the season for the 2-sport star Velma Luce. Got to give Lane Holzbohr all kinds of credit as well. Her stick work to get it down near the end line and inside the circle was critical. And then Velma Luce was not going to be denied. And we are tied at 1.
It was interesting looking down the line of Maryland's wins and losses this season. I was trying to evaluate if they've ever been shut out in a loss, and that is not the case. And literally, just as soon as the words are about to come out of my mouth, Velma Luce is able to capitalize on a great opportunity inside the circle.
And with that goal, now you're going to see Sprink drop back again, and now DeSoya will push back up as Missy Mahard able to manage every situation with the best of them. And Sprink out of the back, tough ball for Tapman, but the long, lanky Tapman able to get to it. And look at those long legs flying down the field, Tapman. Tapman will earn the whistle, tapping it off the foot there of Kelsey Gradwall.
Maryland has extremely athletic outside backs that have the capability to generate the attack along the sides, just as Tapman did.
Look at Hanks. A little shuffle and jive going around Tronsoliti.
Well, if you want to recognize what a good player looks like when they possess the ball and how they scan the field, watch Hanks when she receives it. She takes one touch on the ball, and then she gets her head up. Then she puts another touch on the ball, gets her head up again. She's constantly looking.
DeSoy sends it in. Knew Gonzalez was lurking on the near post. Velma Luce in the middle, and Rissinger on the far post. They're clinical, no matter whether the ball's on the right side or the left side, with their runs inside the circle. Great ball again by Holzbohr. Gonzalez with a little move, dropped back, Luce is there, and she stumbled on her first attempt. Otherwise, it's Luce again.
Vonderluft actually did a great job with committing to Luce when she received it and stepping out of the goal cage.
High pressure from Masters on Sprink. Sprink directing the defense now. Tough ball for Parker, but she was able to take it. Drops it to Velma Luce. Boy, has Maryland responded to being down a goal or what? Brilliant touch by Holzbohr. Leathers pushing it forward. Rissinger. He's got Linnea Gonzalez in front. Leathers back. Holzbohr wants it back.
Great one-time deflection to the outside from Holzbohr, giving Delaney Leathers the green light to attack just along the sideline. Sometimes the most beautiful plays are the most simple.
Holzbohr dancing with it again. It was Holzbohr that was able to find Velma Luce. It's 1-1, but 29 shots so far, 18 for Maryland.
Take a look at Maryland's most recent chance, and Linnea Gonzalez finds Velma Luce off her left shoulder. Luce right there, the hottest scorer in the Big Ten right now. Had a chance to pull away with a 1-goal lead, but Vonderluft stopping her in her tracks.
Speaking of hot scores, Penn State's Brooke Borozic in the second semifinal will take on the University of Michigan. 4 o'clock on BTN to go. It'll be replayed on the Big Ten Network at midnight Eastern Time. Tapman taking it from Sprink. Tough ball for Gonzalez to handle.
Entering the game for the Terps, number 23, Brooke Adler, replacing number 7, Rissinger.
Brooke Adler now into the game for Maryland. The Wildcats back on the attack. Ava Van Acht. There are 4 minutes remaining here in regulation. Puck Pentenga. Look at Sprink, able to stop it. Looking to push it forward, Velma loose. Asking for the call, and she'll get it. DeSoy, so clean. Stripped though right there by number 24, Sophia Miller.
Strong player on the right side of the field.
Lane Holzbohr's father encouraging Lane. Here's DeSoy, Gonzalez. DeSoy again, down on the carpet. Velma loose, great stick work. Ball stopped. Gonzalez trying to shake it loose. And a penalty corner for Maryland. 10.
It was actually great defense coming from Northwestern, had their 6 down on the turf and stopped by a number of players inside the circle, and it seems that Sharp Martin is signaling down to her foot, asking for a foul that may have occurred before that corner call. And that actually may have been the best time for Northwestern to use their video referral. Holzbohr has been doing a great job with moving the attack at a really quick pace. She's putting her teammates in a good position with just a few touches on the ball, and Gonzalez, from what we saw yesterday, is not looking to shoot right away. She's dishing the ball off.
10-3 penalty corner advantage for Maryland. Sprink back over to Hanks, kept low in front and loose is there, so close.
Have to admire Maryland's adjustment to their corners and how much they're actually moving the ball to get around Tronsoliti. Sprink takes the ball on an angle, that draws Tronsoliti with her, dishes the ball back over her left shoulder. And if you want to keep your eye on anybody when Maryland's attack is on that corner, check number 15.
Meanwhile, Masters going the other way. A little over 60 seconds remaining. Turnover, DeSoy gets her stick in it. Cleaned back up though by Northwestern. 60 seconds remain in regulation, tied at 1. Semifinal number 1, 2015 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament, Bloomington, Indiana.
Great step up by Holzbohr just along the sideline. Doing a good job of deciding when she's going to defensively step up for those interceptions. That side has been holding very strong against a talented Northwestern attack.
Here comes Anna DeSoy. DeSoy's got Adler on her right. DeSoy sent back across. Velma loose is spent. Couldn't track to it, it'll go out of bounds, and with just 20 seconds remaining, overtime looming here on the Big Ten Network. Maryland would love to earn a corner here in the final 5 seconds. Lane Holzbohr just outside the circle. She is bumped off the ball, no whistle. And that is the bell at the end of regulation. Number 1 seed Maryland won, number 4 seed Northwestern won.
Flurry of action within the last 10 minutes of this game. And as we saw these two teams face each other last year, very physical as well.
We back Big Ten Network as part of the 2015 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament, a rematch of last year's Big Ten Tournament final. Let's go into that vault, Kara.
Northwestern was extremely effective on the corners. Dawn Masters actually notched 2 of them in the second half to secure a 3-1 victory. Something that's interesting to note here in how Northwestern performed. That was the first goal, and at that matter, total of 3 that Maryland had allowed all tournament long. It was an offense that was able to break through Maryland. And it's fun to see a similar match today, this one going to overtime and Northwestern winning the regular season game, Maryland winning the regular season game.
Number 2 seed Michigan will take on number 6 seed Penn State in the other semifinal. That game can be seen live at 4 o'clock on BTN to go. And then how about Championship Sunday, 12 o'clock here on the Big Ten Network, and nobody in there yet as we're headed to overtime between the Wildcats and the Terps. Take a look here now at the overtime rules, and of course the thrill of it, like MOA did for Michigan yesterday. You score in overtime, game's over, you win.
Exciting to see Michigan and Iowa go head-to-head in double overtime yesterday. And, you know, as stated before, the little things get exaggerated when you go into overtime. And throughout my coverage of college field hockey, I have never seen a shootout. So if it were to go to that, it'd be quite an exciting one.
The elusive shootout. The score is tied following those 2 15-minute periods. That's where we'll be headed. And then if it's still tied, we'll go to the sudden death shootout. There's the Northwestern Wildcats. They're white, purple, and white. Came in 4-4 on the season. Some tough losses. Maryland undefeated. Kerry, you got to be thinking a little bit, you know, you're Northwestern, you survived the attack of shots and penalty corners in the first half. Then you come out, you make the adjustments, you score, you're feeling it, and then Maryland comes down, Velma Luce able to walk it in. Are you still staying positive? Do you still believe, or are you a little bit dejected?
I think you have to have nothing but faith and motivation and determination when you're heading into a sudden victory type of environment. And I think both teams have played fairly equally. I think Northwestern had a tremendous amount of opportunities after they scored their goal in the second half, and they continued to pamper the net and pamper Sarah Holiday in the defense. And on the flip side, Maryland is such a courageous team. They're a determined team. I mean, never discount this team out, even if they're trailing by 5 goals. I mean, that is a winner type of mentality if you can fight back and stay in a championship game.
Bonus field hockey. You knew you would get it here as part of the 2015 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Overtime starting right now between Maryland and Northwestern. We're glad you're with us here on the Big Ten Network alongside former All-Big Tenner Carol Lentz, who starred at Michigan. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you on the Big Ten Network. Here is Velma Luce. She scored the equalizer for Maryland. DeSoy will drop it back to Sprink. Sprink, long ball on the carpet. Lane Holzbohr. Holzbohr. It's a little past 9 o'clock in Amsterdam right now. And it's a penalty corner for Maryland, their 11th.
Certainly something that existed on Maryland's agenda heading into this first overtime was getting inside the circle as quickly as possible and being opportunistic once inside there. That means coming up with a shot or a corner. You can certainly look to Sarah Sprink on this corner, but I think ultimately you probably want to see if you can get it to the stick of Velma Luce.
Of course, less players in overtime. You've got Sprink, you've got Luce, you've got Lane in there as well. Dropped over. Here's Velma Luce. Sprink, and over the cage.
As opposed to 4 defenders in the corner defensive unit, in overtime there are 3 defenders inside that net. And look at the distance that Caroline Tronsoliti crosses at the top of the circle to get a touch on Sarah Sprink's hit. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Stick work from Miller. Miller around Holzbohr. Holzbohr will knock it out of bounds. Miller hustles back. Miller, the sophomore from Medford, New Jersey. She'll go backwards to McCarthy. Now, Charlotte Martin. Martin with Velma Luce trailing. Spin in front, it's open. Masters is there. So is Tronsoliti.
Great job by Char Martin. I mean, this typically isn't a player that's going to hold on to the ball, and that's very deceptive.
Masters in with the shot. Holiday, first with her hands, then kicked away.
Gotta love the amount of action that we're seeing inside the circle throughout the game today. And this is a previous look at what Masters had available, and it seemed like Sprink or Tapman actually got their stick on the ball to deflect Masters' shot.
Parker will drop it back to Tapman as Maryland tries to build out of their back. Maryland came right out in overtime, earned a penalty corner, but Northwestern with 2 dangerous opportunities, yet nobody able to score, and we're still tied at 1. Maryland will take a timeout as Missy Maharg wants to talk to her team.
Great use of the timeout. Maryland right now has a free hit just about the location where the team is huddling up. They're going to have a discussion about a formation coming out of this timeout to get the ball upfield and inside the circle. Smart coaching.
That's the Northwestern huddle. There's the Maryland huddle. Keep in mind, this Maryland program, you see Velma Luce, number 15. She had that BTN standout performance against Michigan as well right here on the Big Ten Network.
2 goals for Maryland that really secured the win in this phenomenal game. A BTN standout play by Luce, and this is the eventual game winner with minutes left in the second half. Came off a controversial call just around the 23-meter mark. You'll see the look of Virla Lubas right there, number 11 in your 4 screen. And Luce just has had a dynamite season. Saw her with so many nice goals just last year. She's carried that into this season. I just love the stride that she's hitting at this point in postseason.
16 goals and 3 assists, part of a fantastic program. Maryland, they've won 8 national championships, including 5 since 2005, and they've reached the semifinals in 8 of the last 10 seasons. They've made 27 NCAA tournament appearances, including each of the last 20 consecutive seasons. Dynasty, Maryland. Tapman to Velma Luce. DeSoy. McCarthy picks the pocket of DeSoy. Tronsoliti's been fantastic versus Sprink, the MVP. Tronsoliti stays with it. Tronsoliti's in. Tronsoliti dancing, and look at Holiday. Comes right up and rips it right away from her. Remember that save.
Well, every day is a Sarah Holiday type of day, especially when you're in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. What a fabulous decision coming from Holiday. Tronsoliti beat Sarah Sprink on the inside, and you have to recognize the foot speed of Tronsoliti. She gets behind Sprink, and it looks like her stick almost hit the face of Sprink when she passed her. And then Sarah Holiday went down just at the right time to strip the ball clear of Caroline Tronsoliti.
Do you think they want this or what? What a great save from Holiday. A brilliant move from Tronsoliti, and yet we're still tied at 1. It was Tapman who was beaten by Tronsoliti moments ago, but now Tapman on the attack. She's in the circle. Flens will take it away.
And I think also really good goalkeeping that is key when you're going through a single game elimination type of tournament. It's exaggerated in an overtime setting as well.
Under 10 minutes remaining here in this first overtime. The first 5 of this first overtime have been fantastic. Sprink looking for Gonzalez. Pushed off the ball with a little shoulder there is Kelsey Gradwall. Martin.
Martin looked downfield for Caroline Tronsoliti, but Tronsoliti looking a little gassed after that last spurt.
Quick break for Flens, and Masters is back in. What a trade-off that is. Phenomenal. Quality for quality. Gonzalez looking for DeSoy. Tronsoliti with Sprink, and now Masters. 2-on-2. Tapman. Excellent stick placement. She had it for a second. Taking back again by Gradwall. Gradwall dancing around DeSoy. DeSoy never giving up. She goes down. The effort here, phenomenal. Inside the circle on the turn, Tronsoliti.
Watching Sarah Sprink and Caroline Tronsoliti run into the circle when the ball was on the outside for Northwestern. Sprink was marking her so tight. Excellent defense coming from number 18, the captain in the backfield.
Lane Holzbohr has been fantastic today. Family in town. Miller, tough run for Masters, and she will run out of field, come back to Maryland. Tracy Fuchs arriving 7 years ago. Every single season she's been there, they've won at least 10 games. Tapman. Anna DeSoy. DeSoy, she's got an extra gear. Even as we approach 85 minutes played, DeSoy. Quick restart. Anna DeSoy is in the circle. Anna DeSoy will try to end it herself.
Again, great decision by the official to allow the play-on situation inside the circle. DeSoy did a great job with beating Lisa McCarthy a couple times in the center of the midfield. Had possession and the advantage just at the top.
Holzbohr. Martin will just clear it out. Northwestern Wildcat General vacuum cleaner. Do it all in the middle, number 12. Sprink, German superstar. Look at the effort from Masters just to get a little piece of it. It'll still go back to Maryland, but great hustle.
The sprint that Alyssa Parker made to the sideline of the field in order to get open for Tapman was very deliberate, took the defender with her, spread out the field.
Well, Tronsoliti has really been all over Sprink. And Tapman, that's the third time she's been able to lay in her stick and stop the attack from Northwestern.
If Tapman's 4.0 GPA is any reflection on how smart of a student athlete it is, it can definitely go to show how smart of a player she is when she decides to step up, how she comes in to defend a ball. Solid.
Casey Tapman, 4.0 GPA. Had some dreams about a GPA like that, Kara. Solid. DeSoy over to Holzbohr. Holzbohr on the attack. Panicker. 5 minutes of this first overtime. Both teams shot out of a cannon. Starting to slow down a little bit. Less players, field wide open, a lot of running.
I think where Maryland has an advantage in an overtime setting is just how effective they are with moving the ball. They move it at a very high ball speed. Only a few touches, letting the ball do a majority of the work.
Ball did more than the work as Sprink was trying to find Paniker that time. Too many players gonna be able to stop that. Here's Tapman, Steen with it, pushing forward. That long reach, drop to Paniker. Paniker first times it. I love that idea on the first time shot, but not on frame.
Paniker has just been a solid player throughout this game, and her presence inside the circle, and she readied her feet and her stick to place a one-time shot. It's actually a well-paced ball that was fed to her at the top of the circle as well.
DeSoy. Sun shining brightly here now in Bloomington, Indiana. Bonus field hockey. Flens to Tronsoliti. And this time Sprink says, no thank you.
Great steal coming from Sprink.
Velma loose. She stays with it. How about the speed of number 15, Velma Loose from Pretoria, South Africa.
Entering the game for Northwestern, number 3, Dominic Masters.
Sprink. Man, she can whip a ball. Taken away by Paniker. Paniker. Holzbohr waiting.
Paniker seems like she's going to knock one of these balls or opportunities in at some point. Although she's running off the field right now, coming for a substitution, but she did her part while she was in OT.
Tapman almost slotted it over to Paniker as she was coming off. I love it though, as Hanks will come in and she'll play up top, Carrie Hanks.
And Maryland is able to sub players in just as they would be during regulation. Have an extremely deep roster, a lot of players that can become productive.
Restart from DeSoy. DeSoy has Velma loose to her right. She'll cut back in. She'll take a shot. Stepping up there, first team all Big Ten or McCarthy. Loose with a shot. Swatted away by Vanderluft.
Dom Masters almost looked like Caroline Tronsolini there, unblocking the shot of Anna DeSoy. When Anna DeSoy gets opened up like that at the top of the circle with any type of shot, I think that that ball is going in.
Luce does not give up on any ball. She tried to track it down. Northwestern going the other way. Masters stood up by Tapman and DeSoy. This is exciting. Holzbohr. DeSoy quickly. Wraps too quickly.
And that actually may have been a foul off ball, not actually on DeSoy when she was taking that free hit. Tapman, nothing has gone through Tapman here in this overtime. And when you see big plays on defense, when you see that happening as a teammate, you want to make that pay off. Just as it is with goalkeepers coming up with big saves. That really instills confidence and motivation.
"85 minutes, not enough to decide who moves on in semifinal number 1 as part of the 2015 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. on the Big Ten Network. Ohio State and Rutgers coming up next. And we'll join them as soon as this one is over in Bloomington, Indiana. Big Ten Women's Soccer Tournament. Penn State University. Headed to the second overtime here at the IU field, hockey field, through 85 minutes. Maryland with 11 penalty corners, Northwestern with 3. Let's take a look at the bracket for the 2015 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament.
Winner of this game advances to the championship game on Sunday, and to reiterate again, the winner of the whole tournament does receive an automatic qualification to the NCAA tournament. So if you're looking for a team that really needs to advance to extend their season, Northwestern is certainly one of those teams, and Penn State having a phenomenal stretch of the later part of their season. They're facing Michigan not too long after we're finished up here in the semifinal number 1 of the Big Ten tournament.
The Penn State Nittany Lions are getting set. Aurelia Meyer along the fence line, the freshman, Penn State's first international player, made first team all Big Ten. Big personality for Penn State, and no doubt that Penn State thinks they can beat Michigan just like Northwestern believes they can beat Maryland.
Saw a flurry of action here in the first overtime, and remarkable play coming from all parts on the field, on the defense, individual defense of several players. Casey Tapman, Sarah Sprink in the backfield from Maryland, and then Lisa McCarthy and Shard Martin on the reverse end were doing a great job with coming up with a couple of block tackles and outletting the ball extremely quickly. And at this point, you really have to reevaluate the 1v1 situation that Caroline Truntz and Leedy had with Sarah Holiday, who has earned her starting spot in the gold cage for the Terrapins. Big time decision by a big time player coming out and stripping the ball.
Huge. And the second overtime underway. You score, you win, you advance to Championship Sunday, high noon here on the Big Ten Network. Sprink in the back. Holzbohr's been fantastic. Velma Luce is in. Velma Luce looking for it. She'll get it. Hanks is there. Vanderluft with the save.
Maryland has made quite the turnaround in their season, as we have discussed throughout the entirety of this game, but Boston College and Duke are their 2 OT losses, and if you look to the later part of the season, 2 overtime wins.
DeSoy in, still alive, the shot off the cage, Luce trying to clean it up. Hanks hammered it off the cage.
Wow, I don't think any player was expecting the rebound that it was coming off the post to actually keep the ball alive just inside. And I think the sweetest sound a goalkeeper can hear is that post noise. Great job by Hanks. Receives it and winds straight up. I thought that for sure was hitting the back of the boards.
What a great shot by our crew. Kian Dolat-Shahi and the entire crew here have been fantastic. Really all week. Early hours yesterday. 4 games on the Big Ten Network, and really we're just getting going. 1 of 2 here on Friday and then Championship Sunday. Long run from Holzbohr. Hanks again, back to Holzbohr. Oh my! Are you kidding me with the finish? Maryland is in the final.
Solid game throughout regulation, and she player that stood out during the overtime just because the attack that she was able to create going up the field. Does a very good job with possessing the ball. What a great finish for Holzbohr, with even some of her family here in town to watch them advance to the Big Ten tournament final on Sunday.
The BTN standout Hanks, who just missed moments ago, and look at Holzbohr just lifted over for the BTN standout play.
Speed separates her right here. She gets inside the offensive 25. What a great job dishing off. Carrie Hanks right back in a phenomenal finish over the head of Litzy van der Loft.
Incredible, and Holzbohr with a hug for Velma Luz. Hanks and DeSoy and your Coyote Logistics. No excuses, impact player. Lane Holzbohr with her father Hank and family here in Bloomington comes up big.
Enter into the right gate. Also, parking will not be allowed in the lot adjacent to Armstrong Stadium and
the great history that is being created by these two teams. Give major props to both teams for a great effort in the semifinal match. I mean, that is a championship type of environment that the Big Ten brings every year in the postseason tournament.
You got to give Tracy Fuchs and the Northwestern Wildcats, with fantastic seniors, promising juniors, a great team. You really got to give them a salute as they played their hearts out.
Yeah, and this is a remarkable senior class. Very unlikely that they will make the NCAA tournament, but you have a senior class of Shard Martin, Lisa McCarthy, and a couple of others that have done so much for that program.
So there it is. We can finally put a team there, and of course it's Maryland, undefeated still in Big Ten play, and they await the winner of Michigan and Penn State.
It's going to be a fun one later today between those two teams. Michigan had an absolutely dynamite win in overtime, an extremely physical team, and Penn State, wow, what fun players to watch on that forward line.
Semifinal number 1 in the books from Bloomington, where Maryland knocks off Northwestern in 2 overtimes, 2-1.